Yeah, I think we finally just realized that just because we lived with an album for a year while we're writing it and recording it, and like we're like, yeah, we're familiar with these songs. When you release it to your fans, it's like, what are they doing? It's brand new.
All the differences are very glaring once you release it to your fans and you start hearing what they're saying about it. And the same thing happened on the new record, which we'll get into later. But it's it's one of those things where you put it out and you're like, this is going to be awesome. Everyone's going to love this, and then everyone's like, what the hell are they doing?
Eccentricities seem to come out even more when it came to the self-titled. Like, was it the fact that, like, for every one person who didn't get City of Evil, like 10 did? Like, did it kind of give you the confidence to, like, musically, certainly, like, totally spread your wings on that self-titled record?
For us, it was the fact that we wanted to produce it ourselves because it was going to be challenging, it was fun, we had this vision, we'd always written, we got credit on City of Evil for co-producing it ourselves, but those songs were written pretty much in their entirety when we brought them in the studio. So, we were like 25 years old, 24, 25 at the self-titled, and we're like, we want to produce it ourselves. Naturally, our record label's like, no. And then we're like, yeah, we're going to do it ourselves. And we did. And you leave us in a room together for too long, and you start ending up with songs like A Little Piece of Heaven, and we're just really, really ambitious, and we're listening to everything from the Beatles to Pantera, and that's kind of what happens when you truly love. I truly love bands like the Beatles. I truly love bands like Pantera. We love all of it, and we were left up to our own devices with no outside influence, no producers, and we just went crazy, man. We wanted to show everyone that we loved all sorts of music. We wanted to show our fans that they can expect that we'll always move in different musical directions, and that's really when we came into our own and fans really got it. They're like, okay, Waking the Fallen sounds different from City of Evil because this is what this band does. They listen to all sorts of stuff. City of Evil sounds different from the self-titled because these guys are all over the place. But I think we earned a lot of respect when at first on City of Evil people were very apprehensive. They're like, what is this? Is this the real deal? Are these guys just popular on TV and the radio? Are these guys going to burn out quick? And it was just about proving ourselves as musicians and being a little very, very adventurous. I think
people don't understand about City of Evil is that for a long time it was failing miserably. Like when the first week came out, it was a really low first week sales of what the label wanted, or was expecting.
Got to Avenged label as well for the first time.
Yeah, and then it continued to decline until K-Rock, our radio station in LA, saw us at Warped Tour and started playing Backcountry, and then Backcountry took off on the radio, and then MTV picked it up. And it basically found a new audience for us. Not a completely new audience, but it got people that like metal and weren't really sure what the hardcore scene, didn't know much about it, to come in and understand what Avenged Sevenfold was. So I think that record really set us off with the core fan base, because there was always people that were going to go back and listen to Waking. There was always people from Waking, but there was a backlash from our fans to the point to where they weren't buying it, which was fine. But with the help of like things that we don't like to say help, but like a K-Rock or MTV or whatever, like in the States, it really helped like open the doors for a whole new group of people to hear about metal music and Avenged Sevenfold.
And like I think you were the first band that kind of left the scene. Like, I hate the term the scene, but like that whole kind of Warped Tour type vibe, like to go on to something like respected by metalheads. That's the first and only time that I remember that happening. Yeah,
it was weird. Definitely weird, and it was an awesome time, but it was definitely kind of crazy.
What did that change in success do to the dynamic within the group? Because like you kind of weren't just a couple of kids from Orange County anymore. It was like wherever you went, you were, Shadows and Vengeance and Rev and Gates. Like, was it did the rock star thing kick in?
Maybe image-wise on the outside, we were all about playing it up.
Yeah.
But I think we always stayed the same people. We always
when you've known each other that long as well.
Yeah, and we've never had inner turmoil in this band, and we've been together for 14 years now or so, and it's like...
Has anyone ever crashed a Ferrari?
Our buddy Kai did, and I was in it.
What?
Yeah. But that was, that was during Avenged Sevenfold, and I got in the car, and he made a turn too fast,
Not guilty.
out of control, and took the bottom out of it. But so I've been in a crashed Ferrari, but it wasn't because we're in sevenfold, and it wasn't because we're on. It was just purely.
Like just go back to self-producing. You got to be a pretty tight-knit unit as well, because everyone wants their bit. Like as far as like, I mean, I've never worked in the studio with a band, but like from when you read about it, it feels like, you know, the bass player wants the bass louder, and the guitar, like, and this guy wants this to sound more this, and like, how was it in terms of bouncing ideas off of each other and like everyone bringing their own to the table, but everyone leaving happy at the end of it?
Yeah, I don't know how the dynamic works so well. It just does. And, you know, we've been together so long.
Are you good at backing down, like as people going, all right?
You have to be. You have to be. And you have to almost like it. You have to almost say, you know, we're doing what's best for the band and just kind of get a different perspective and live with stuff. And there's been things where people go back and go like, no, I've thought about this for a couple of days. We really should do this. Or we shouldn't do this. And then everyone just respects it. It's not an issue. And everyone's, you know, you see outside people's opinions on things. And I think I see people... And I'm like, wow, I wouldn't be able to be in a band with that guy. Or I wouldn't be able to, but everyone seems like they have their head on their shoulders in this band, and we've all been the same philosophy since day one. And there's some major issues that like would come up with other bands. Like, okay, you're getting paid a lot for this gig. You just take the money and run. And this band's always been like, put the money back into the show. And it's never been like an argument. Like, no, I want my share. And it's like, no, let's make it bigger and bigger. We're all in it for the same reasons. So it's not a big deal.
Not really sure how to broach this stuff. I'm not good with awkward situations. What was the first day in the studio like after Jimmy passed?
Man, it's really so hard to even remember because it's such a whirlwind. Yeah, and everything happened so fast. Getting back in there, it was like learning to crawl. And we looked at each other like, what do we do? And we had, you know, Mike Portnoy, who we respected but weren't fully familiar with as a person. And he's, you know, by nature, he's, you know, has a good demeanor. He's a funny guy. He's happy. He's more lighthearted. And all of us were shells of human beings. So it's weird. And our producers, you know, he being a new producer at the time to us, he hadn't worked with us before, kind of tiptoeing around. And then once we all realized what we came to do, which was, first and foremost, we didn't know if we were ever going to tour again. We didn't know anything. We knew that we had a duty to our best friend to put out this album, to make him the legend that he is to us.
How long did it take to make that decision? Because it must have just been heads.
A couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Yeah. And we knew it's what we had to do.
We were talking instantly about it, to be honest. Like, I remember sitting at Johnny Christ's house having some sort of thing, and, you know, there's a couple friends over, and we were sitting there, you know, looking at the moon, and we're like, dude, you know we have to put out this record. Like, we have to put out the record. It was like, we finished it with Jimmy, we have to put it out. Like, it's done. Like, how can people not hear this? We were so excited about it.
Yeah.
So we started throwing around the idea pretty quickly, but we were very, you know, tippy-toeing around a lot of things because we didn't want very many people involved or many people to know about it or what we were going to do. And the drum situation was huge. It's like, who the hell's going to play?
Especially for such a unique player as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, once we got in the first day, it was rough, but there's a glimmer of hope knowing that we were actually attempting to make the album. And that was our only goal at the time, was to make this piece of music so our fans could hear it. And I mean, whenever you get all of us in a room together, even if we're sad, we can always cheer each other up. We're best friends. We're good at that. You put us in a room with music and know that we're doing the right thing. And it was literally just an ounce of hope and knowing that we were going to be able to do this. And then the next day is a little bit better, and, you know, hearing the songs start coming to life. And then you're just focused on that. I mean, we didn't ever look towards anything. We didn't look towards playing concerts or if we're gonna try and find a new drummer, or because at that point there's just no replacing the Rev. It's just finishing the album so focused. I mean, there wasn't interviews, there wasn't anything going on besides finishing it. So it's weird. It's literally like, it's that part of my life is kind of like a void. I kind of remember what it feels like, but you're just so numb to everything. So I'm not really sure exactly how it felt.
Did you, because this sort of stuff is always tragic when it happens, like Paul from Slipknot and Pete Steele and Dio and all these sort of things, but with Sevenfold in particular, where you'd been friends since you were kids, did you kind of automatically look towards each other? Because, you know, you're a group always, like as as friends, first and foremost, as kids, did you all kind of convene together rather than grieve individually?
Oh yeah, we were living in each other's house. We were living at my house for a while, living at Gates' house for a while. I remember going to the funeral all together, and then you're in the same car together, not talking to anyone. Just had no interest, So it was like it made us way tighter, if that was even possible. But it was just a surreal experience. But it's a slapping reality into a young kid, which things that a lot of people at our age never will have to deal with. They go through life and they don't lose their best friend that they've known 18 years at 28. So for us, we learned a cold, hard lesson of life.
And did it make you focus and totally determined to make a great record in Jimmy's honour?
Absolutely, I felt like we already had the music there.
But like the recording?
But we wanted to execute. Yeah, it was so important to execute.
There were moments on that record that are so raw. I think there's a bit in the middle of Danger Line that is like the first time you heard it was like. Was it hard? Was it a hard record to make? I mean, that seems like such a stupid question, but it must have been like.
Yeah, I mean, it was emotional. The emotional weightiness of it was crazy. It was just really all about letting yourself say the things you wanted to say and get it all out there.
Did the lyrics change then?
Oh yeah, all the lyrics were written, after Jimmy's death, because I never really write many lyrics during the process because it's so hectic. I'm trying to put songs together.
Yeah.
So yeah, the whole thing was written basically about Jimmy after, so it's an emotional, weighty record.
Yeah, well, let's play Nightmare, and I'm sure this is what you've been waiting for. We're going to talk about the new record, Hail to the King. Come back for more from Scouse Meets Avenged Sevenfold. Hail to